Welcome to the Spiritual Artist Podcast. This is Chris Miller. I invite you to join me as I interview artists from a variety of disciplines. We'll share powerful stories and lessons learned while making their art.
Good day, spiritual artists. This is Chris Miller, your host for the Spiritual Artist Podcast. I realize we've been down for a couple weeks. I let myself enjoy the holidays. I did some writing. I'm working on my next book. Everything is wonderful. And I'm sure that you have already gotten ready for the new year. We're about 1 week into the new year, and it's very traditional for us to set resolutions. And I want to talk about something. I want to kind of take you away from that concept of setting a resolution and give you something to think about. So recently, I've heard probably in the last year or so, people are using the term superpower. You know, there's all these movies on TV. It seems like they keep remaking Spider-Man and Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman and all these movies about superheroes. And I'll be honest with you, I never was a big fan of superheroes. Sometimes the plots are good and I enjoy them, but the concept behind superheroes has always bothered me. And it was the concept that I am looking for someone to save me, that I am not strong enough and I am not empowered with the spirit in me to be my own guide and help me help myself. And so I kind of shied away from the word superhero. When people said to me, "What is your superpower? What is your superpower?" I was like, But you know what? I've been doing some thinking about this term. It's kind of an interesting term because what it does do is it acknowledges that every one of us does have something unique and utterly unrepeatable within, that we are all individualized expressions of a greater power. And I do believe that. I do believe that everyone is totally unique and valuable, and there will never be another person quite like you. So let's take this concept a little further and let's talk about superpower. Have you ever thought about it? Have you ever thought to yourself, what is my superpower? What is it about me that I find unending energy, that I can do it? It's stronger, it's vibrant, it's part of me that's different than anybody else. So an interesting concept, and as I let myself wander around with thoughts, I thought about Clark Kent and the whole concept behind most superheroes. And the concept behind most superheroes is that they have some sort of disguise. They find a way to fit in, to make themselves fit into what they think the world wants them to be. And Clark Kent, of course, Superman disguises himself as a respectable reporter because he thinks that is what the world is ready to see. But I want to ask you to question this about yourself. Have you hidden your superpower? Do you know what's unique about you, but you're afraid to express it? Are you afraid to step out and be who you are? Now, in my last podcast, I talked about creating a space and letting God or spirit or whatever term you want to call it, fill that space with something new. You have to let something go to let something in. Well, I want you to create space for your superpower. I want you to think about, what am I not letting myself be? What is special and unique about me? So do some thinking on that. And I did some thinking on that over the holidays. And I was trying to think of what is unique about me. And I've decided that it's something that I've had other people tell me and I've just ignored because I didn't think it was really special. And people say, "Hey, Chris, you are really good with people." And growing up, I was like, and what does that mean? What does that mean that I'm good with people? And yet it does mean things. It means that I ran a business for 25 years and I've had employees. It means that I've written a book and I speak to people. And so what I realized is I had a superpower, but I wasn't acknowledging it. My superpower is that I love people. I love working with people. I love motivating people. I love challenging people. And I love helping them find out who they are. My superpower is people. But I want to tell you something. I spent most of my life, and I'm 50-something years old, and I never really acknowledged or gave myself credit for that superpower. Better yet, I never let myself live the life that I want to live with that superpower in hand. Now, I want to share something else with you when we talk about superheroes. There's not just one power. You could say flying and leaping from building to building, but there's other powers. The ability to see through walls, eternal life, not aging. So we all have several superpowers. We all have gifts that are given to us that make us unique. And I always ask you, in my book itself, I ask you to discover and let out what it is that's special and unique about you. Are you disguising it? Are you doing something that you don't want to do for a living? Are you working somewhere you don't want to work? Are you in a relationship that's not working for you? Are you dressing a certain way because you think that that's what the world wants you to be? It's time to let out your superpower. And it's time to let it take you where it can take you. Because I do believe that spirit, that the greater power needs that expression, that is spirit expressing through you, that your superpower is why we're here. And that superpower should be used for positive creativity, for making things. So sitting there and thinking about the concept of, you know what, I think I can accept this concept of a superpower. And I want to ask you, when this is done, after you hear this podcast, and I know that you probably already wrote a list of resolutions, things that you need to fix. I want to lose weight. I want to work harder. I want to have a better relationship. And all that, all those resolutions do is they make you focus on the negative things about yourself. They make you focus on the negative things about yourself. And as I talk about in my book, when I say focus on what's working, is a spiritual artist focuses on what's good about themselves and they make it bigger. They do not focus on what's negative. If you focus on what you think is lacking, you will attract more lack in your life. If you're focused on weight, you will attract more weight. If you're focused on a better relationship, you will attract bad relationships because you attract what you're trying to pull into yourself so hard. So what I want you to do is I want you to pull into yourself your superpower. I want you to acknowledge what it is that makes you special and be it and let it show and push those New Year's resolutions aside and focus on what is your gift. So after this podcast, sit down, take out a piece of paper, turn off the Spotify, turn off your computer, get away from all the people, sit down quietly and write out, think, take a few minutes in silence and ask yourself, Spirit in me, what is my superpower? Spirit in me, what is my superpower? Spirit in me, what is my superpower? And how can I let it out? How can I express it better? How can I let it guide me to be who I am meant to be? The individualized expression of one. So I'm looking forward to this year. I want to tell you, I have some wonderful things lined up. I'm interviewing the author of The Light We Give in a couple weeks. I'm very excited. This is a great book. I also am a facilitator for an online book club. I'm going to put that into the description, but you can go to spiritualartisttoday.com and you can sign up for notifications. This is a free book club. Every month we discuss a spiritual book, not mine, but what I'm reading, because I love to read. That's another power of mine. I love to read and learn new concepts from other spiritual leaders, other new thought leaders, other innovators, and share those ideas. And that's a free, we meet on the 2nd and 4th Wednesday of every month online. So you can do this from wherever you are. It's just an hour long. You can meet other spiritual artists across the country and engage with them and create community. So I'm doing that as well. I want to tell you, I'm very excited to share that my book is selling very well. I'm actually selling 2 books a day on Amazon, which is incredible. So if you haven't gotten the book yet, get it. Read in there about focusing on what's working. There's a chapter on focusing on what's working and see why it's important to focus on your superpowers. So with that, I wish you a great day, a great new year, and I wish you leaping from tall building to tall building. Have a great day and check back and follow the Spiritual Artist Podcast.